Join us, will you, for our next segment. It's called the CNN Wine Trail. I mentioned it earlier in the show because I'm so excited about it. Jim Acosta, whew, his tears taste delicious. He starts with this little smile, then he gets a little panicked, and then it's full on just sadness. Oh boy. Here he is, starting. Just watch.
Jim, I just saw your tweet. You said you're feeling like the White House is stonewalling you.
Yeah, Brooke, I wish we had some video or some audio from this briefing to share with you, but the White House mandated that we are not allowed to cover the White House press secretary for the United States of America in that fashion.
Oh no! They said turn off your cameras. It's not uncommon for a lot of things. There's a lot of off-the-record pen and pad meetings on the Hill and at the White House, but no. Jim Acosta wants to be treated differently because he's with CNN. You guys, when they're on TV, they're special snowflakes. And when he mentions the United States of America, you know he's serious. That'll come up in a little bit later on. Let's just continue down. You might want to actually get yourself a glass of wine because you're going to need it to deal with this sad, sad, sad baby.
And so, yes, when we're asking important questions about where are the tapes, does the president have recordings of his conversations here at the White House is refusing to answer those questions on camera or in any kind of fashion where we can record the audio.
They have the right to do that, guys. You can have pen and pad only meetings. They're allowed to do that. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this or not, but CNN has been leaking fake news for a little bit, so maybe they want to keep things just in written form so that there can be a record of what's going on rather than a lot of spin and who knows what else could come out of it. I don't know. But Jim real sad. Jim's sad. Let's keep going.
My guess is because they want their evasive answers not saved for posterity. That is the only conclusion one could draw, that when they give us answers, that it somehow reads better in print.
That's right. Conclude that they're trying to spin things positively toward themselves, Jim. I mean, it definitely wouldn't have anything to do with your actual opinion of them. Remember this time, by the way, though, speaking of your opinion of the White House, remember this time you were on Anderson Cooper? Look at him right there. He looks like such a goof. Like, if you screen grab at the right moment, he just looks like a goof with glasses. Like, I understand a lot of people find him attractive, but goof with glasses. Like, I'm a goof with glasses. That's a goof with glasses. Getting off topic there, but Jim, remember your opinion of the White House when you said they were from a whole different planet?
So, Jim, this seems to be yet another example of the president and those who represent him simply, I don't know, not being on the same page? Is that what it is?
I'm not sure they're on the same planet, Anderson, and I don't understand that either, what you just played.
Oh, I'm not sure if they're on the same planet. Oh, man, Jim, I can't figure out why they don't want you around and why they call you fake news. Probably because you don't like them and you're very honest about it. And it's not like the president doesn't notice this. I mean, who can forget this time?
For the record, we don't hate you. I don't hate you.
Okay.
Pass that along. But
Ask Jeff Zucker how he got his job.
Sure, you said you didn't hate him to his face, but I mean, you just said he's on a different planet. You were very disgusted by his conversation earlier. It gets better, by the way. We're going to start splicing these little pieces in. It's just majestic. Let's go back, though, to Jim whining on CNN.
And I guess people can say, well, there goes the media again. They're acting like crybabies because they can't cover things the way that they want.
Acting like crybabies? I mean, trust me, this was a 5-minute rant he went on this. We had to cut it down for you guys because I don't want to bore you to death. But you're literally acting like a crybaby. You're literally on TV acting like a crybaby. And by the way, it gets worse. It does get worse. But, I mean, obviously, people aren't dumb. They're not dumb. They see this. Trump saw it too.
You said that the leaks are real, but the news is fake. I guess I don't understand. It seems that there's a disconnect there. If the information coming from those leaks is real, then how can the stories be
No,
fake?
the reporting is fake.
And if I
look,
may ask,
look,
I just want to ask
Jim, you know what it
yes,
is? Here's the thing. I just see many, many untruthful things. And I'll tell you what else I see. I see tone. You know the word tone. The tone is such hatred.
Yeah, no, Trump sees through this. Trump knows that you're whining, and he knows that you've been negative against him. He watches TV, guys. He sees it. And then he's got staff that watches the TV. We've got staff that watches the TV. Unfortunately, I have interns that watch the TV and show where everything is, and I force them to watch this awful garbage so that we can make fun of it. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, Jim's about to get real serious. He talks about how it used to be old-fashioned. Old-fashioned. You know, back when they didn't have cameras at all, and it was just pen and paper. And also, It gets serious again because he drops the United States of America. Woof! Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Jim's whining goes to level 2. Which means you should, by the way, be at drink 2.
But, you know, maybe I'm old-fashioned, Brooke, but I think that the White House for the United States of America should have these questions answered on camera so
Right
we
there
can
with you.
see what they're saying.
I mean, you can see what they're saying, but you're going to spin it negatively, so who cares? And like I said earlier, old-fashioned means pen and paper, not cameras, Jim. But he did say United States of America. Very, very serious. Very serious. His whining is just so next level. Let's take a look at what else the president said to him that fateful day. Remember that press conference? That was one of my favorite press conferences, I think, throughout this entire the presidency. I think he needs to have more of them like this. So let's see some more from the president and Jim Acosta the last time they came face to face.
You look at your show that goes on at 10 o'clock in the evening. You just take a look at that show. That is a constant hit. The panel is almost always exclusive anti-Trump. The good news is he doesn't have good ratings. But the panel is almost exclusive anti-Trump. And the hatred and venom coming from his mouth. The hatred coming from other people on your network. Now, I will say this. I watch it. I see it. I'm amazed by it.
Guys, Trump watches the shows. I don't know if you've seen it. I've been forced to watch it. Again, the interns, poor interns around here are forced to watch it. But when you watch Don Lemon late at night, or Anderson Cooper, or whatever show on CNN, there's like 9 people. They have like, it looks like a broke Hollywood squares, just squares all over the screen. And like 8 of them are anti-Trump, and then you've got 1 pro-Trump person. And anytime the pro-Trump person talks, they're called racist, they're called bigots, they're beat up on. The host yells at them if nobody else can come up with something logical. Trump watches this stuff. By the way, the whining gets better. You don't think that they're asking him about climate change, do you? I don't know. Watch this clip. You're going to love it.
Is he not having conversations with the president about simple questions like climate change? Do you think he just simply doesn't know? Why isn't he having those conversations with the president?
It's a really good question, Brooke, and it's a question that I would ask, but unfortunately at this White House, we wouldn't have the video or the audio to show you the answer.
Just out of the blue. You mean he's not asking him about climate change? No. Donald Trump knows all about climate change. That's why I appointed Scott Pruitt to be the head of the EPA, you know, the guy that used to sue the EPA and said that climate change isn't real. He knows exactly what his stances are on that, and I think you guys do too. That's why he doesn't have to ask any more questions. But the other reason he's probably not getting a chance to ask certain questions about climate change is because he's busy dealing with Russia. And by the way, this is from months ago. This clip of this Donald Trump press conference where he came face-to-face with Jim Acosta is from months ago. And he called the Russia story there. This is why they don't have a chance to do real jobs. Their real jobs is because, and they're actually doing a lot in the White House, is because they have to deal with this Russia lie. Watch him call it months ago.
And Reince happens to be doing a good job, but half of his job is putting out lies by the press. You know, I said to him yesterday, this whole Russia scam that you guys are building so that you don't talk about the real subject, which is illegal leaks.
I don't even have anything to add there. That was like, he nailed it. I mean, he's called this for a while. The White House has seen this coming. But that won't stop Jim Acosta from whining. By the way, this is where we reach critical meltdown. Watch him. This is the White House. This is the White House. You're going to love this. I think this is the quote of the whole thing.
But unfortunately, at this White House, we wouldn't have the video or the audio to show you the answer to that question because of the stonewalling that we're getting over here at the White House. That's the White House behind me. The White House. And it's bizarre. I don't know what world we're living in right now, Brooke, where we're standing at the White House and they bring us into the briefing room here at the White House and they won't answer these questions on camera.
Did you guys know that it was the White House? I wasn't sure if that was the White House or not. But by the way, that is the most honest reporting that Jim Acosta has had on CNN in months. That is the White House. That is the White House. We're standing at the White House. Here's the thing. He's the president of the United States. A lot of people said that Donald Trump doesn't act presidential. But here's the thing about acting presidential. If you're elected president, you're acting presidential. You set the standard. The office doesn't set the standard for you. You won. You set the standard for it. So if the president doesn't want to speak to you on camera, that's his prerogative. He can do whatever he wants. He earned the seat. He is leading the country. It's not your choice, media. It's not your choice, Jim Acosta. By the way, he's still at the White House. He's at the White House. Ridiculous. By the way, let's watch Trump handle him some more last time they met face to face.
We'll get
Just
it.
because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine?
Very fake news.
I
yeah.
know, but aren't you?
You know, sometimes he does my job for me, Donald Trump. It goes from fake news to very fake news, and that's the only thing. Honestly, I sort of agree with Trevor Noah on is that America elected a comedian. Donald Trump, pretty good with his timing. He knows what he's doing. Oh, by the way, Jim Acosta's not finished crying.
I don't know why everybody is going along with this. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and it just feels like we're sort of slowly but surely being dragged into what is a new normal in this country, where the President of the United States is allowed to insulate himself from answering hard questions.
The President of the United States is allowed to insulate himself from answering hard questions? Oh my gosh, I feel like we've never had that before in the history of this country. What a odd. Oh, remember when Obama would refuse to answer actual questions about things like Benghazi, but would sit down with like this lady who on YouTube took a bath in Fruit Loops and other YouTube stars so they could talk about how great he was? Like, he literally would only sit down with people who worshipped him, including the mainstream media, and then YouTube, and then even the Jerry Seinfeld interview on comedians in cars getting coffee. He was the only non-comedian to ever do that. So I don't think that the White House is new at insulating itself. I think they're just not answering your questions, Jim. And show his sad face again. I just want to see his sad face again. He's so sad. They broke him. They broke Jim. He went home and just curled up in the fetal position and cried. I don't blame him. You've been had, man. Very fake news.